Archangel Michael says, "I was sent by God. You have 3 days to break this curse. It was placed by a family member you trust. Open it quickly." In the stillness of your soul, you may have felt something strange, an invisible heaviness, a quiet ache behind every joy, a shadow in moments where there should have only been light. Maybe you've wondered why certain things in your life seem to stumble just when they start to rise, why your heart feels tired even when you've done all you can to be kind, to forgive, to love. And maybe, somewhere deep within, you've whispered prayers in the dark, hoping someone would hear them, not knowing that heaven had already moved the moment you spoke. This message is not just for anyone, this is for you. God has seen the burden you could never put into words, and He has sent help through light, through truth, through the words you are about to read. Type Amen if you believe. When a person is born into this world, they come bearing innocence and a heart wide open to love, trust, and hope. But as we grow, life is not always kind. Sometimes, wounds come from unexpected places, from people we thought would protect us. The pain that cuts deepest is not the kind that comes from strangers, but from those who once held our hands and promised safety. You may not understand it, but the spiritual realm is as real as the air you breathe, and it has seen battles you could never imagine. God, in His infinite mercy, allows certain truths to come forward at the appointed time, and this is your appointed moment. There are times in life when curses are not loud or obvious. They move quietly like a shadow over your home, your mind, your relationships. They break things slowly, your confidence, your peace, your clarity. But God is not a God of confusion or fear. He is a God of restoration, of justice, of light. The curse placed on your life was not your fault. It came through deception, through jealousy, through a heart that once pretended to love you but carried hidden bitterness. This is not to make you afraid, but to awaken you to the reality that heaven wants to heal what has been broken in silence. You were chosen, not just to survive this but to overcome it. You are not here by accident. The reason the enemy tried to break you through someone so close is because he knew how powerful your purpose is. He tried to dim your light by making it flicker through pain, betrayal, and confusion. But what the enemy forgot is that Jesus Christ walks with you, and He has never stopped covering you in mercy and grace, even on the days you couldn't lift your eyes to pray. You didn't need to be perfect for Him to show up. You just needed to be willing to hear the truth, and here you are, reading these words, and this is heaven's answer to your silent cries. There is a healing power that comes when you choose to let go of the wounds placed by others, even when those wounds came from someone you trusted the most. Forgiveness does not mean you accept what was done, it means you release its hold on your life. The curse they spoke, the dark wish they made in secrecy, loses its power the moment you step into the truth of who God says you are. You are not bound. You are not forsaken. You are not forgotten. You are the child of the Most High, wrapped in His promises, and no curse can withstand the fire of His love when He declares you free. A powerful 9-word prayer once classified by secret agencies has now leaked, and it's quietly rewriting destinies. In under 30 seconds, it reprograms the mind to attract wealth and dissolve scarcity. Users are reporting surprise income, restored hope, and financial peace. But this page might be deleted at any time. Click the link now before it's taken down without warning. Some chains are invisible, but they drag behind you like echoes of words that were never meant for you. You may have been called worthless, difficult, or a burden by someone you loved. They may have smiled in front of you but worked against you when your back was turned. God saw it all. Every moment they mocked your prayers, every time they secretly hoped you would fail, every time they smiled at your pain. But our Lord is not one who ignores injustice. His timing is perfect, and now He has sent His light to cast out what darkness has lingered for too long. The next 3 days are sacred. These are not just days on a calendar, they are a divine window of restoration, of redemption. Use them to pray, not just with your lips, but with your heart. Speak life over yourself. Anoint your space with the truth of God's presence. Say aloud that you are covered by the blood of Jesus Christ. That your home, your body, your future, your mind, and your lineage belong to the Lord and cannot be cursed by what He has already blessed. Heaven listens when you speak in faith, and even the deepest curses unravel in the presence of divine truth. Type 1111 if you trust in God. Archangel Michael does not come with fear. He comes with fire, with clarity, with the sword of truth drawn in protection over you. He has been sent to break this spiritual chain and to remind you that while the battle was real, the victory is already written. You are being called into a new season, one where freedom flows like morning light, where you no longer walk with your head down or your spirit aching. God is calling you into your true identity, and He is using what the enemy meant for harm to launch you into healing, into strength, and into the kind of peace that only comes from heaven. Do not be afraid. You are not alone. And you are not weak for feeling tired or scared. You are human, beloved by a holy God who sees what no one else sees and heals what no one else can touch. These 3 days are not about fear, they are about freedom. Speak life. Speak healing. Speak truth. You are not cursed, you are chosen. And heaven has moved, just for you. Type 222 if you walk with faith. There are moments in life when you sit quietly in a room full of people and still feel alone, like something unseen is holding your joy just out of reach. You try to smile. You keep going. You try to make sense of why peace never seems to last, and why your heart often feels like it's standing in the rain, even when the sun is shining outside. It isn't because you've done anything wrong. It's because the pain that has followed you didn't come from your own doing, it was a chain linked in secrecy, set by someone who should have protected you. But the time has come to break it. God is not only aware of what was done to you, but He is already undoing it. Heaven is not waiting to see how this ends. Heaven is rewriting your story as you surrender this pain and walk into the light. Some curses don't show themselves with thunder. They come softly, like patterns that repeat, like closed doors that never seem to open, like broken friendships that leave you wondering what's wrong with you when nothing ever was. You were never the problem. You were never too much. You were never too sensitive. The truth is, you carried a light inside you, and that light made darkness uncomfortable. The curse placed on your life was born out of envy and hidden resentment, and while they smiled and nodded and held your hand, inside they whispered words of destruction, hoping you would never rise above their shadow. But God has never left your side, not for 1 second. Every tear you cried watered the soil where healing will bloom. When Jesus walked among us, he didn't avoid the broken. He didn't shy away from the weary or those who had been misunderstood and mistreated. He drew close to them. He embraced the wounded. And that same Savior is drawing close to you now. His presence does not come with noise, but with stillness. And in that stillness, he's speaking to the parts of you that have long been silent. The child in you that was hurt, the adult in you that carries silent burdens, the soul in you that longs to be free, all of you is known, loved, and held in his hands. Type 555 to receive grace. The next 3 days are not just hours on a clock. They are holy ground, set apart by the hand of the Almighty, because you are ready now in a way you weren't before. You are strong enough to face this, not by your own power, but by His strength working in you. Speak gently to yourself. Lay your hand on your heart and remind your soul that the curse is breaking. It cannot stay. It has no right. It has no power greater than the love of Jesus Christ. God is not asking you to fix this on your own. He is asking you to trust Him enough to let Him step in, to let Him fight the battle that was never yours to begin with. What if you discovered a tiny, walnut-sized brain region holds the secret to endless wealth and success? Recently uncovered by groundbreaking research and once buried in classified files, this frequency is now available to anyone ready to listen. Imagine replacing worry and struggle with a life of financial ease and freedom. Interested? Click the link in video description and comments below to unleash this hidden brain wave and start attracting wealth right now. You have been guided to this message for a reason, and if you turn away, the chance may not return. This is your time to step in. You may feel emotions rise to the surface, old memories, sudden sadness, unexpected anger. Let them come. These are the things being brought into the light so they can be healed. Do not suppress them. Do not shame yourself for what you feel. Let it all rise like smoke so the fire of God's love can burn it away. His healing is not shallow, it goes deep, into the roots, where the wound began. And once He touches that place, the curse will break, not only from you, but from your family line. You are the one who was chosen to be the breaker of chains, the one through whom God will restore generations. And even if you feel too small for such a calling, remember that God always uses those the world overlooks. Archangel Michael is not here to simply warn you. He is standing with you now. He is the strength you feel when you want to fall but keep standing. He is the shield before you when fear tries to pull you under. He has drawn His sword not to threaten, but to protect, and His presence is heaven's way of saying, "This ends now." The curse that has followed you, that came through hidden hands, will not pass into your tomorrow. It will not enter your next season. It will not touch your children, your mind, or your joy. It ends here, not because of who you are, but because of who God is, and He is faithful. Take these next days seriously. Speak aloud your faith, even if your voice shakes. Write down the moments where you've felt held back, the strange patterns you've noticed, the betrayals that never made sense. Surrender them all. Lay them at the feet of Jesus, even if you don't understand everything. He doesn't need you to figure it out, He just needs you to give Him the pieces. And He will put together a masterpiece of healing, beauty, and restoration. He has already started. This message is the evidence. Let this be the beginning of your peace, not the end of your pain. You are not who the curse said you were. You are who God says you are, redeemed, chosen, loved, protected, and covered. Nothing formed in darkness can stand against the light of Christ that is now rising within you. The heaviness you've carried for years will lift. The confusion you've battled will fade. And the fear that once gripped your chest will lose its grip. Because God is here now. And He never loses a battle. Tomorrow will not be like yesterday. You are stepping into something new, something sacred. Every breath you take from here is a reminder that the curse has been exposed, and that truth is breaking it. Do not return to the fear. Do not reopen the wound. Let grace carry you now. Let love cover what was bruised. Let peace rebuild what was torn. You are not alone. Heaven is closer than ever, and all of it is fighting for you. Type 1212 if you walk by faith. In every life, there are chapters that feel unfinished, pages stained by betrayal, and seasons wrapped in confusion. You may have stood in the middle of your days, wondering why joy slips through your fingers so easily or why peace feels like a guest that never stays. Some burdens are not ours by choice, but they find us anyway. And while you've done your best to rise, to heal, to forgive, there are wounds that keep reopening, pain that keeps echoing, and questions that never seem to leave. But heaven has heard it all. And now, the light is reaching you. God is not late. He is always exactly where you need Him to be, exactly when you are ready to receive. And right now, as you read these words, He is closer than ever before. The curse you carry may not have a name, you know, but your soul has felt it. It lived in the way you doubted yourself, in the way opportunities seemed to slip away right when you were ready. It showed up in sudden conflicts, broken trust, and the constant feeling of being unseen even when you gave your best. But God has never been blind to your suffering. Not for a single second. The curse was quiet, planted like a seed by someone who wore the face of love but spoke death behind closed doors. You didn't see it because your heart is pure, full of belief and loyalty. You don't see the worst in people, even when they've given you reason. That's not your weakness, it's your reflection of Christ. The one who cursed you knew that your light was rare, that your future carried blessings far beyond your understanding, and they feared that. But God is not moved by fear. He is moved by justice. And His justice is already unfolding in your favor. The days ahead are not to be wasted in worry or fear. They are a time to lean in, to quiet the noise, to listen deeply. You don't have to perform for God. You don't have to impress Him with perfect prayers. He just wants your heart, your honesty, your surrender. Tell Him what hurts. Tell Him what confuses you. Tell Him you're tired. Tell Him you're afraid. And then let Him hold it all. He doesn't turn away from the broken. He sits beside them and begins to rebuild them with mercy. Type 1919 to receive miracles. Archangel Michael has been dispatched not because of fear but because of love. You matter more to heaven than you know. God does not send angels for entertainment. He sends them for battle, for breakthrough, for protection. And when Michael speaks, it is because the time for deliverance has arrived. You don't have to keep living under the shadow of what someone else spoke over your life. Whether they whispered it out of hatred, jealousy, or pain, their words hold no power now. Heaven has intervened. Their darkness cannot stand in the presence of God's truth. Start speaking life out loud. Every morning, say that you are blessed, that you are protected, that you are loved by God. Say that your home is safe, that your body is healed, that your mind is clear, that your family is under divine protection. These words are not just sounds, they are spiritual seeds. And heaven waters them with favor and strength. The curse they placed can no longer grow in a soul that is being covered by truth. You have already started the process. Just by reading these words, you've allowed heaven to enter and begin its holy work. The days may bring memories to the surface. Some may sting. Some may feel like they happened yesterday. Do not fear them. God brings things up not to hurt you but to heal you. The wound has to be seen before it can be closed. And He is so gentle. His love does not shame. It never condemns. It brings comfort even in the deepest pain. Whatever was taken from you, whether it was peace, relationships, finances, or your sense of self, it will be restored. Not in your time, but in God's perfect time. And when He restores, He does not give back what was stolen, He gives more. What if I told you financial freedom is not about working harder, but activating a dormant brain signal designed to draw abundance directly to you? Neuroscience proves this sound wave unlocks prosperity faster than any method known before. From unexpected cash to life-changing success, it's already helping thousands. Imagine looking back tomorrow wishing you had acted today. Do not let regret replace the miracle that is calling you right now. Click the link in the video description and comments below to turn on the ancient money wave and create the life you've always dreamed of today. There are things that happen in the spirit that we may never fully understand while we're on this earth, but we feel the effects of them deeply. Sometimes, a blessing is delayed not because you did anything wrong, but because something unclean had to be broken off before the promise could arrive. God does not place His treasures in a place where curses linger. That's why He's cleaning house now. That's why the next 3 days are holy. You're being prepared. The curse is being broken not only from your life but from your bloodline. It ends with you. It will not pass through you to your children or those who come after you. You are the turning point. Let your heart be quiet in His presence. You don't need to do everything perfectly. You don't need to carry it all. He is here. Even if you don't feel it, trust that He is. The moment you whispered His name, He moved. The moment you believed there was more, He came closer. The enemy tried to disguise the curse as coincidence. He tried to make you blame yourself. But you were never the cause. You were the target, because your life carries purpose, and your purpose is a threat to darkness. The person who cursed you may never apologize. They may never admit what they did. But they will never be able to outrun the justice of God. And you do not need revenge, you need release. Give it to God. Let Him handle what you were never meant to carry. Let His love be enough. Let His truth be louder than their lies. Let His hands pull you out of the weight you never asked for. The peace that's coming will be deep. The joy that will rise will be real. The freedom you are about to walk into is going to shock even those who tried to bury you. And through it all, you will know it wasn't luck. It wasn't chance. It was God. It was always God. Type yes to affirm. There are moments in life when the weight you carry isn't something others can see, but you feel it pressing down on you every single day. You've gone through seasons where no matter how hard you tried to stay strong, something always pushed you back, dimmed your hope, or made your blessings feel unreachable. Maybe you've looked at others and wondered why peace flows so easily for them while you fight just to stay afloat. Maybe you've stayed silent for too long, brushing off your pain, telling yourself to keep going, while your soul quietly ached for someone to understand. God has seen that ache. And more than that, He has already begun to answer it. When a curse is placed, especially by someone you once loved and trusted, it plants doubt inside you. It twists your self-worth and makes you question whether you're the one who broke something. But the truth is this: what was done against you was never about you. It was about fear. It was about a heart that allowed darkness to creep in. And you, child of God, were chosen not to fall under it but to break it entirely. This is your time. This is your moment. Not to crumble, but to rise with the fire of heaven behind you. Over the next 3 days, heaven will be closer to you than ever. These hours are sacred, not because of fear, but because of how much healing will take place. The Spirit of God does not come to harm or punish. It comes to restore, to rebuild what was lost, to sweep over the ruins and create beauty where once there was pain. You don't need to understand how every curse works to know that it can't stand in the presence of God's power. And make no mistake, His power is moving through your life now. Sometimes we inherit pain that we didn't cause. Sometimes we carry burdens that were handed to us without warning. Generational wounds, unspoken resentments, and silent betrayals can all leave a mark. But God is not intimidated by history. He is rewriting your story. He is taking what was handed down in shadows and replacing it with light that will stretch into every part of your future. The things that used to follow you, the things that kept you in cycles of pain or fear, they lose their grip when the Spirit of God takes over. And He is doing just that. Type 666 if you trust Jesus. There is something deeply personal about this battle you're in. The enemy targeted you through someone close because it knew you would never expect it. But God saw it all. He saw how they smiled in your presence but spoke against you when you turned your back. He saw the confusion it caused in your heart. He saw how it made you doubt your own discernment, your own goodness. But He is not a God who remains silent when His children suffer. He sends angels, He speaks through quiet moments, and He brings truth to light. This is not the time to shrink back or question your worth. This is the time to stand in the truth of who you are. Not who others said you were. Not who the curse tried to make you believe you were. But who God Himself has called you to be. You are His. You are held. You are covered. And you are protected by something far greater than anything that could ever be spoken over your life in darkness. The moment you began to seek him, heaven began to war for you. Archangel Michael stands not only with you but before you. He is clearing the path, cutting through every spiritual blockage, tearing down every wall that was built through betrayal or jealousy. His presence is not random. It is an answer. A response to the injustice heaven can no longer tolerate. What was hidden in darkness is being exposed. What was planted in secret is being uprooted. The one who wished for your downfall will watch as God lifts you higher than they ever imagined possible, not out of revenge, but as a testimony of God's love and justice. You may feel things begin to shift, and that is not your imagination. You may sense old emotions rising or old wounds resurfacing, but this is all part of the cleansing. God doesn't cover things up, He brings them to the surface so He can heal them once and for all. Let the memories come. Let the emotions pour out. Cry if you need to. Be still if you need to. But do not hold back. You are safe in His presence. He is not afraid of your pain. He is not burdened by your grief. He walks straight into it and begins to turn ashes into something beautiful. What's coming for you is not small. It's not temporary. It's not a half healing. It is full restoration. The peace that's been stolen will return in full. The joy that felt impossible will flood your life again. And the love you were denied by those who should have known better will be replaced by the perfect love of your Father in heaven, who never leaves, never lies, and never breaks His promises. You were not sent here to break down. You were sent here to break through. You are the turning point in your story. You are the one who will see healing where others only saw pain. You are the one who will walk in freedom while others stay bound in bitterness. You are the one who will rise, not because it was easy, but because God Himself reached into your darkness and carried you into the light. So rest tonight knowing this: the curse is losing its grip. The lies are being silenced. The betrayal is being reversed. And the heart that once felt so shattered is being pieced back together, not with what it was, but with something new, something holy, something stronger than you've ever known. You are not broken beyond repair. You are being rebuilt by the hands that shaped the stars. Type 2020 to claim miracles. An ancient 9-word code, once reserved for high-level insiders, has been uncovered. It's simple, quick, and shockingly effective at drawing money and blessings into your life. Neuroscientists confirm it stimulates the brain's receiving center, an area dormant in most people. People everywhere are calling it the 30-second miracle. Click the link in the description and comments before the authorities remove it again. There are things in your life that never quite made sense. Moments when it seemed like your efforts were swallowed by silence, or your kindness was returned with coldness. You've tried to build, to heal, to love fully, but something always pushed back. It wasn't always loud. Sometimes it was subtle, like delayed blessings, strained relationships, or constant setbacks no matter how hard you tried. You may have even blamed yourself at times, wondering what you were doing wrong. But it wasn't your fault. What you were feeling was spiritual interference, a curse quietly working in the background, planted by someone who should have been a source of protection, not harm. God saw it. He heard the hidden intentions. He felt the sting you didn't have words for. And he did not ignore it. He waited for the right time to send help, and now that help has come. These words are not a coincidence. They are an answer. Heaven is not silent. It is speaking now, and it is speaking to you. You see, God never reveals something just to alarm you. He reveals it because He's ready to remove it. The pain, the cycles, the doubt, none of it was meant to stay. And no matter how long it has been attached to your life, it can be broken in the presence of God's truth. The curse may have come through someone who knew you well, someone you once trusted with your heart. But their actions cannot override God's plans. What they did in secrecy, God is now dismantling openly. These next 3 days carry weight because they are appointed. Not by a calendar, not by chance, but by God's own hand. He has set this time apart for you to be freed from what was never yours to carry. You don't need to fix it. You don't need to fight alone. You just need to bring it into the light. And in the light, darkness loses its power. You've spent enough time in confusion. You've lived long enough under limitations that weren't natural, that weren't meant to follow you. Now, it's time to step into what God always intended for your life: peace, clarity, healing, and joy that doesn't fade when night falls. Type 3333 if you believe God is lifting you. Archangel Michael doesn't show up for ordinary matters. He appears when something serious must be dealt with in the spirit, when a child of God is being attacked unfairly, and when heaven is ready to bring justice. That is what's happening now. You don't have to understand why someone you loved turned against you. Some people carry wounds of their own that open doors to darkness, and instead of healing, they choose to harm. But you are not responsible for their brokenness. You are responsible for your healing. And that healing is no longer a distant hope, it's beginning right now. Take these 3 days to rest, not in fear, but in faith. Turn off the noise. Pull back from the chaos. Listen for the quiet voice of God in the stillness. He will speak to you. Not with thunder, but with peace. You may have dreams that feel vivid. You may feel emotions rise up unexpectedly. This is not random. It's the spiritual unraveling of what's been tangled around you for too long. Don't suppress it. Let it move. Let it leave. You are being purified, not punished. Let the tears fall if they come. You are safe now. And you are not alone. The Spirit of God is surrounding your home, filling your atmosphere, washing through the hidden places in your soul that even you have avoided. He is kind. He is gentle. And He is thorough. Nothing is too deep for Him to touch. No pain is too old for Him to heal. Begin to speak life, not fear. Say with confidence that you are covered by the grace of Jesus Christ. Declare that your home belongs to God, your future is secure in His hands, and no weapon formed against you will succeed. These aren't just comforting words. They are weapons. They cut through lies. They pierce through curses. And they create room for God's truth to settle in and rebuild what was broken. What the enemy used to try to destroy you, God is now turning into the very thing that will strengthen you. The family member who betrayed you will not define your story. The words they spoke, the jealousy they hid, the bitterness they sent your way, it all ends here. Heaven has stepped in. Justice has begun. Not in anger, but in righteousness. And you don't need to wish harm on them. You need only to walk away in faith, knowing that God has seen all and will do what is right. This moment is sacred. Don't rush through it. Take time to pray, to write, to sit with God and simply be honest. You don't have to pretend. He already knows. He loves you still. He loves you deeply. And He's not asking for perfection, only for your willingness to let go of what has held you down. That willingness alone is powerful enough to change everything. In the coming days, watch for signs. They may be subtle, a sense of peace you haven't felt in years, a heaviness lifting, a door opening that seemed shut forever. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations. Heaven always responds to obedience. And your heart's openness to receive this message has already begun to unlock blessings that were held back by spiritual interference. But no longer. The curse has been named, and now it has no place. Walk forward with a quiet confidence. Not because everything has changed yet, but because God has, without question, begun the work. And what He starts, He finishes. The same Jesus who calmed storms, who raised the dead, who touched the forgotten, is the same Jesus walking with you through this. A hidden 9-word prayer rediscovered in a sealed government document is now changing everything for those who dare to use it. It activates your brain's forgotten abundance channel, helping you manifest prosperity in ways you've never seen before. The results: cleared debts, growing savings, sudden opportunities, speak for themselves. Don't wait until this vanishes. Click the link before it's erased from the internet. You were never cursed by God. You were always blessed. The curse that came was a counterfeit, an attempt to twist what was already holy. But it cannot stand against the real thing. And the real thing is already blooming inside your spirit, even now. Hope. Healing. Strength. Restoration. Type 1717 to step into freedom. There are silent battles you've fought for so long that you forgot what it feels like to live without the weight pressing down on your shoulders. You've smiled in front of others, kept going when it would have been easier to fall apart, and held on to hope when nothing around you made sense. Deep inside, you've wondered why things never seemed to work out fully, why your peace never lasted, why blessings seemed to arrive halfway and vanish before you could rest in them. What you felt wasn't just hardship. It was spiritual interference planted in shadows and wrapped in betrayal. But now, God is uncovering what was hidden and healing what was broken. His mercy is here, and He's making all things new. When someone you trusted, someone who carried your secrets, your love, your memories, when that person becomes the source of harm, it's not just painful, it's confusing. It shakes your sense of safety. It disrupts your sense of identity. But what they did in darkness is no match for what God is doing in the light. The betrayal was meant to make you crumble, but it has made you seek deeper, and in seeking, you have found truth. You have found Him. And now that you're standing in His presence, nothing that was formed against you can remain. You were never meant to carry this forever. God didn't create you to live with constant anxiety, confusion, or heartbreak. He created you for purpose, for peace, for holy joy that cannot be stolen by envy or darkness. The curse that followed you, the pattern of delay, the unexplained closed doors, it was not your portion. It was not written in your destiny. But it was spoken by someone who opened themselves up to bitterness, and in their brokenness, they tried to steal what was not theirs to take. But the grace of God cannot be undone. The favor on your life cannot be stolen. Even now, His angels are clearing the space around your spirit, sweeping out the remnants of the past, breaking off spiritual chains that lingered long after you forgot their origin. You may feel strange emotions rise. Let them. You're not falling apart, you're being emptied of what was never yours to carry. You're being cleansed from what was clinging to your soul in silence. This is the beginning of real peace. Type 4444 if you're ready for healing. In these 3 days, heaven is giving you a window, an open space to pour out everything, to pray with raw honesty, to cry if you need to speak life over yourself without shame. Speak out loud if you can. Say you are free. Say you are covered. Say the curse is broken in Jesus' name. These aren't just words, they are declarations of spiritual truth. When you speak in faith, you echo the authority of heaven. And no shadow, no curse, no bitter word can survive when the presence of God fills your space. Archangel Michael stands with you not as a symbol, but as a warrior of light, sent for a purpose. Sent because you matter. Sent because heaven values your heart, your healing, and your future. He is here because this is the moment where things turn around. The curse placed upon your life, whether it came through spoken words, rituals, bitterness, or envy, is now confronted by the fire of truth. It cannot stay. It cannot thrive where God's Spirit reigns. It doesn't matter how long the curse has tried to attach itself to your name or how often it tried to repeat through generations. What God has started through you is holy, and it will not be stopped. Your bloodline is being rewritten. Your name is being restored. And the shame you carried, though it was never yours to begin with, is falling away. You don't need to go back to who you were before the betrayal. God is making you into something stronger, softer, more whole than you've ever been. There is nothing too broken for Him. He doesn't see your life as a list of failures or flaws. He sees you as beloved, as worthy, as a vessel through which He will show His glory. And yes, the pain came through someone close, but even that pain will be transformed. God wastes nothing. The very thing meant to destroy you will become the foundation on which He builds your testimony. And when others see what He has done, they will know it was only God who could have taken your brokenness and turned it into beauty. You may begin to feel a strange peace rise up, as if the air around you has changed. That's not your imagination. That is the presence of God making itself known. That is the curse losing its grip. That is the love of Jesus Christ wrapping around your spirit like a warm light, healing the cold places, soothing the wounds that never had words. You don't need to explain it. You only need to receive it. It's already here. Don't rush through these days. Let your spirit rest. Let yourself be honest with God. He's not expecting perfection, He's asking for presence. Yours. Your heart. Your surrender. He already knows your story. And now, He's turning the page. The new chapter begins with peace. With healing. With joy that does not disappear. You are being rebuilt from the inside out. Let go of the guilt, the confusion, the self-blame. You were never too weak, too much, or too late. You were simply walking through a storm you didn't see coming. But now, that storm is ending, amen.